Hello, dear wine lovers. I'm Hugues from Vitis Epicuria, and for this new video, I wanted to share with you the pleasure we had of traveling recently through Burgundy, and despite difficult sanitary conditions, as you can imagine, we were anyway able to meet successively Laurent Ponsot in his new premises, Paul Zinetti at Domaine Contarmant, Alessandro Noli at the Clos de Tard, and then Vincent Gros at the family domain Gros Frères et Sœurs, brother and sister. And above all, we had the deep pleasure of tasting some wonderful wines with them, and we are now going to share that with you.
So let's start with the first visit that we had in the morning to the new offices of Laurent Ponsot. So Laurent Ponsot is both a remarkable winemaker and also a pioneer in terms of traceability and protection of the origin of great wines. And he was the man who, working with the FBI, brought about the arrest of one of the greatest wine fake maker of all time in the fine wine markets. So it was Rudy Cournier, who made the huge mistake of wanting to sell Clos Saint-Denis from Domaine Ponsot in old vintages, well before the date on which Laurent Ponsot himself acquired his plot. So it didn't take more for Laurent Ponsot, to decide to protect at all costs the origin of his wonderful bottles, which are still much sought after in the world. So in 2017, he finally decided to create his own house with his son, Clément, also working a few plots of Chardonnay on the Côte de Beaune, which was quite new. And the tasting of his first cuvée of Meursault, the simple village cuvée called Pandorea, was also a revelation for us, with an acidity that balances the sensation of fat that is typical of Chardonnay, and that gives it a very welcome extra length. We started precisely the tasting with the white wines, and first it was the white Burgundy, simple Cuvée du Personnage 2018, and believe me, it started very strong, because yes, it was early and it was the first wine tasted of the day. But really, what a balance, what a pleasure. And we know that the grapes come directly from the plain as a simple Bourgogne appellation. It was not declassified from better appellation. Well, anyway, the day started very well. Then we had the Premier Cru Meursault Charme, Cuvée de la Centaurée 2018. And unsurprisingly, we changed category. It was really hard to pull my nose away from the glass and take a sip. But finally, I must say that I never regretted the effort, as an incredible length made the pleasure last even longer. After that, we had our first Grand Cru, Corton Charlemagne, Cuvée du Caliméris 2018. So it was extremely rich, and the wine comes from plots spread over the entire appellation. So it's really, it really represents Corton Charlemagne. And the Chardonnay strikes here with its concentration, distinction, and balance, and it is so rare that the beauty of the grape variety establishes such a close link with the character of its terroir. So it was magical. And after that, finally, the Bâtard Montrachet, Cuvée des Lilas, 2018, and Hallelujah, what an emotion. we were still making progress, and was it possible? Just this. So we missed words to describe it. Anyway, we must say a big thank you to Laurent Ponsot for allowing us to taste this near perfection. Then we went to the red wines, all on vintage 2018 as well. And we started with the red Burgundy Cuvée des Peupliers. And honestly, like for the white Burgundy, this simple red one was stunning, with a lot of fruits and spices present. Also a minerality that borders on bitterness, so not so ripe, maybe. But Laurent Ponsot is a great winemaker, and his talent has been expressed for several decades in the red wines of Burgundy. So obviously all the terroirs suit him, and the level was already very high. And after that, we had the Vosne-Romanée Village, Cuvée du Cerisier 2018. And we were, of course, making progress. And the whole wine was particularly harmonious, and the grapes seemed very ripe this time. So it was more complex and finer. And we were already approaching the summits, but then they came with the Clos de Vougeot Grand Cru, 3 Grand Cru actually. First, the Clos de Vougeot Cuvée du Cèdre, and here was the perfect example of a great Pinot Noir helped and served by its elegance. So it was quite discreet at first, and it gradually releases its mineral and very airy character. And we fly with him, really. After that, we had the Chambertin, Cuvée du Chêne, more powerful, and the aromas were rich, and the pleasure was immediate. So we understood from the first note that we were dealing with a very serious wine at that time. And then finally we had the Griotte Chambertin, Cuvée du Saule, which is made from vines cultivated directly by Laurent Ponsot. And this wine was the perfect synthesis of the power of Chambertin and the fineness of Clos Vougeot. So we were actually close to perfection. Even if this wine, the Griotte Chambertin, still has to wait a few years to get even closer to perfection. So we were done with the tasting of Laurent Ponsot, and we will go on with another video shortly.